People today in the society, Guruji, are suffering with a lot of inner conflict. How can one deal with their inner conflict? What can one do to overcome that conflict?
We should not get into the trap of overcoming the conflict. Our approach should be to understand that conflict, why it is happening, and that conflict may be created by society. It may be created by you because you have not understood your own divine architecture, how you're made.
Yes.
That is how your consciousness is structured, how your body is structured. And you may have conflict with regard to a particular thought, and your religion might tell you that you should not have that thought. And so for various reasons, you may have various kinds of conflict. And one has to understand, and one has to get the whole attitude and the new approach of understanding conflict. And if you understand conflict and understand thought, I believe that conflict will end. Sometimes it may be necessary to completely change your life after the ending.
But that will only be known when they are watching or understanding that conflict by staying with that conflict, not trying to get rid of it.
Of course. The whole idea of wanting to get rid of it is a wrong prompt given to us by society,
Right.
and a wrong promised solution. It will never work. So as the owners of consciousness, and it's our own stuff, so we need to understand what has gone wrong, where.
Because in generally counselors and psychologists and they're always trying to find a way to distract them away from that conflict so that they don't have to face that conflict. But that approach has not really been helping, because when I talk to clients and they always trying to find different tools. They're saying, do you have any tools for me to be distracted from away from that conflict? So that approach is not going to help.
I think that approach is very childish, because you're not showing any readiness and maturity
Right.
in order to face the reality of that conflict.
So it may temporarily give you some relief by distracting yourself, but ultimately to be free of that conflict, one has to really encounter it.
Definitely.
By
One has to
and
go
understand
deeper
it.
One has to go deeper.
Go deeper
One has to understand it, and one has to study it. And the solution should never be the prime motivation why you will study it. You've got to understand why has it happened. And because the bad thing about conflict is that it will drain away your energy. It will steal your creativity. It will steal your vitality. It will steal your, most important, your intelligence. Intelligence won't work. So it's important to save yourself from that conflict. And to save yourself, first you have to understand the conflict. That should be the approach. That
Not find different ways to
No.
move away from it.
That would be running away from that conflict, escaping from that conflict. It would be a very immature way of approaching life.
So one need to, but even though it is uncomfortable, when you try to understand it, you need to stay with it. But it will be a very uncomfortable
Yes, in
process.
the beginning it
in
will
the
be.
beginning it will be that way. But that will be the right approach to move towards and go deeper into it.
Definitely, because you have to understand yourself. That's the most important thing, because you are part of the world, you are an inseparable part of the world. Assume that you're completely conflicted. Then whatever you touch, and wherever your energies are impressing themselves on something in the world, it's going to have the fingerprints of this conflict.
So no meditation or no walking in nature, all those kind of practices, all those steps, they would not help ease that. They might ease the conflict, but they will not resolve it completely. That is what you're saying.
The whole idea of wanting to ease conflict, wanting to banish it is wrong. Okay, go and walk amidst nature is very good. Now, why should you do it? You should do it because you are in touch with yourself. Now, in the spiritual tradition of India, as you know very well, solitude is always recommended.
Recommended.
Because why? Because it's only in solitude that you meet yourself. And the conflict is all about yourself. And therefore, you've got to meet yourself. In solitude, you meet. And you don't go to solitude and these walks just like that. No, it's for meeting yourself.
Thank you.